Another question that has come to our attention is there anything else other than what you've shared so far that you think it would have been important for your parents or the trusted adults in your life to have known then?
Sure, I'll hop in here. So I'm lucky enough to have an incredible mother who loves me and supports me. And she, throughout high school, she was, I'm going to use the word pressuring, but in a nice way, pressuring me to seek medication and seek therapy because she could tell I was struggling, even if I didn't want to admit it. And it took me a while to finally agree, but I did. And she was also the person I called and asked to drive me to the emergency room when I needed to go to the hospital. I asked her to go to dinner with me, and then I got in the car and said, we're actually going to the hospital. But the reason that I knew I could call her in that moment was because she gave me this, and she still does, this just endless support. And so my message to parents and adults is to just do your best. I mean, I'm not a parent, so I can't really speak, but just do your best to be there for your children, be there and support them no matter what, and take what they have at face value and trust them. And just be that pillar of support for them that they may need. There may be no one else in the world that they can talk to, so if you can be that person for them, that is just priceless.
Krithi or Connor, would you like to answer that? Krithi?
Yeah, that was very well said. I think what parents and other adults can do is, I wish the adults in my life knew how embarrassed I felt about having these issues and how ashamed I felt and how uncomfortable I felt in my own skin. I kind of wish the adults in my life knew that and worked to create a more welcoming environment for me to even begin to tell the truth. I think that's where I was lacking some support. But I guess for parents wondering how to support their kids now, or for teachers wondering how to support their students, I think the best you can do is keep an open environment and never close off any idea, because being like judgmental can lead to people feeling like they can't open up to you, and you want people to feel like they can open up to you because you're the adults in their lives. So I think that's really where you want to be. You want to be open to hearing and listening to anyone else's struggles, and you need to create like a judgment-free zone, basically. But I think I was lacking that definitely in school and at home. So.
And I would just add that it's important to remember that in as much as you can, resist feeling like, oh, this is my fault. What did I do wrong as a parent? I think there's a lot that comes from a really great place of love. And I, as someone who has never been a parent, I understand that I can't truly empathize with that feeling. But know that when you lead with that, it can make your child feel like make your child feel like they're adding stress or burden to your life. So I think focusing the conversation on how can I support you, and not sort of having a counterproductive conversation about the past. Like, what was the trauma that I instilled in you when you were 4 years old? Like, what's your darkest, deepest first memory? Like, those conversations are not going to prompt recovery for either of you. It's just going to create stress and anxiety. So I think being proactive and talking about, okay, what can we address now? How can I support you? What do you need from me? Versus saying, oh, this is all my fault, I'm so sorry. I think, at least for me, I don't want to speak on behalf of others, but for me, those conversations are a lot more productive than the ones where we play a blame game, because those end in fighting and like no progress. So personally, that's something that was important to me in my dialogue with parents.
I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to agree with Connor. I'm going to agree with what you said. I found that I would be worried about speaking up about how I was doing because I didn't want my parents to worry. I didn't want them to be upset. And so I ended up withholding a lot of information from them, which ended up not helping me at all. So again, just saying what Connor just spoke about, just please do your best to make that a safe environment that they can speak to you, and make it as proactive as possible.
And let me give a supportive message to the parents and trusted adults out there to say, it is okay if you're freaking out in your head about the information your children are sharing with you. It's okay for you to be scared, for you to be nervous, for you to be worried. It would be normal for you to have those thoughts of what could I have done differently. So you're normal for having those thoughts. I love the advice that folks are sharing to not share that with your child when they're sharing with you their struggles. And please know that there are lots of supports out there for you. And I hope that you are talking to each other as parents to get support, because this is something that should be destigmatized for parents as well. All right, I want to share with you a question from the audience, and this one I'm going to direct specifically at Krithi. What should a friend do if they see a friend struggling and they're not sure what to do? Krithi, what are your thoughts about that?
I guess struggling in general. I think